Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. It's me, it's the GOC, coming to you live to tape from the lounge at Chaos Corner. Go back and check out part one of today's retro review here on a stormy, crazy morning in the Northeast on a Friday morning, the New England greater tri-state area. The weather, the floods, the thunder, the lightning, it's been unbelievable. Stay safe, everyone out there. Stay close to your family and friends. Nothing's guaranteed. Tomorrow's not guaranteed in this crazy world and what's going on. And that's why I'm here as a content creator here on the Guardian of Chaos YouTube channel to give back to you, the fans of the IWC. Not only for me, but for you. I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. We already did part one. 50 minutes just now on Wrestle Rock 86 from the AWA, an unbelievable event. Over 23,000 fans at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, and we're here for the main event. The fabulous Freebirds of Michael P.S. Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin against the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, in a steel cage match. This was the main event for Wrestle Rock. This was the last stadium show for the AWA. Unbelievable talent. Over 3.5 hours. There were 16 matches. We went back. I ran down the whole card, and I just got finished doing a live-to-tape watch-along of Bruiser Brody and Nord the Barbarian against Jimmy Snuka, the Superfly, and Greg Gagne in a steel cage match, followed by Vern Gagne and Sheik Adnan Al-KC in a steel cage match. I also did the review for the AWA World Heavyweight title between Stan the Lariat Hansen and Nick Bockwinkel. So go back and check out part one. Here we are on part two, which needs its own segment in itself, as Road Warrior Hawk and Michael Hayes are in the ring right now. What a view from the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome. Hayes face first into the cage by Hawk. Hawk now pressing up. Hayes has him over his head with the military press. Bang! Down goes Freebird Michael Hayes, followed by the big fist drop. Wow, Hawk and Animal were ahead of the time. Now remember, 86th AWA, and they went on to dominate WCW, the NWA, New Japan, All Japan, wherever they went across the globe. And of course, maybe not as much in the WWF, but the best, the greatest tag team, in my opinion, in the history of this game. And now Hawk throws Michael Hayes back into the cage again. Now Michael Hayes is trying to crawl to the top of the cage. A big boot to the face of Hawk to try to keep him at bay. This is going to be a barn burner. Now Hawk is up top. Both men on the top rope. Up to the top of the cage. Now there's no roofs on these cages back in the 80s. You know that. You can climb over the cage a lot of time now in the 2023. Now Hayes falls from the top rope from Hawk down to the middle of the canvas. Goes over to Animal. Big elbow by Animal on Hayes. And then off the top rope with a flying elbow was Hawk. Holy shit. Lands on Hayes. Hayes is in big trouble. Precious Paul Ellering is outside. Now Hayes tags Jimmy Jam Garvin. And I will say this, nothing against Jimmy Garvin. But Michael Hayes and Terry Bam Bam Gordy would have been a much tougher challenge for the Road Warriors. Where's Buddy Jack Roberts? I mean, I'm not quite sure where they were for this show. Now Hawk and Jimmy Jam. Beautiful gut-wrench suplex by Hawk, and then puts Jimmy Jam on top with a backbreaker, and down goes Garvin. Big leg drop by Hawk. Hawk was one heck of a grappler. Again, you guys know my history with Michael P.S. Hayes, being able to travel together in the late 80s as I was just an observer with the Samoan SWAT team, and then, of course, being able to meet the Road Warriors and be in their company, and had a chance to even manage the Road Warriors here in the Constitution State, but it didn't always come true, and the show got canceled on that night. But to be in the corner of the Road Warriors, so the opportunities. Now Animal's in, and he's going to press Jimmy Jam Garvin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit, it drops him right on his face. Face first, the Flintstone flop, as I used to call it. Garvin and Hayes, no match for the Road Warriors here, guys. Thanks for being here. Live to tape. Retro review. Rod Trongard, and I kept saying it was Lee Marshall, but it's not him who's doing the ring announcing, along with the Guardian of Chaos. Gary Michael Capetta, your ring announcer. It's been again, 16 matches. Now Hayes is back in. Now the Freebirds starting to make a little comeback here. Garvin tags Hayes. Now Hayes working over the Animal. And this is what you need to do if you're the Freebirds. You need to get the Road Warriors and separate them, cut off the ring, keep them in your corner. It's Tag Team Wrestling 101. I manage many tag teams, many great tag teams, many champions. Hayes didn't do it. Let Animal out. Reversal. Back elbow by Animal. Big trouble. Down goes Hayes. Tags Hawk. Hawk comes in with a big fist to the dome piece. How could... Listen. Oh, now Hawk is biting Hayes. And Hayes, Michael P.S. Hayes, who's just Michael Hayes back then, is busted open. Swinging out of nowhere, swinging at air, and just Hawk is beating his ass. But look at the resiliency of Hayes. Ring awareness, generalship, back elbow to the midsection of Hawk. Tags in Garvin. Now Jimmy Garvin going over and laying the wood to fucking Hawk, pardon my language. Rights, lefts, to the labans, to the chest, to the forehead, to the head. Look at this. Jimmy with the chops and the forearms to the huge chest of Road Warrior Hawk. It's not going to last for long. Hawk out of nowhere. Bang. Oh, low blow. Is that a low blow by Garvin? And here's the tag to Michael Hayes. Double team work. This is what you have to do with the Road Warriors if you're Hayes and Garvin. You don't have Terry Gordy there to be the big man to match the power and size with Hawk and Animal. He just, Gordy was unbelievable. Figure four. Hawk has Michael Hayes in a figure four. Who knew? Actual figure four leadlock by the Road Warriors. Wait, Michael has it on Hawk. Now Hawk reverses it. As I said in the first segment, you don't always remember this. I've seen this several times. Saw it live in '86 when I was, 23 years old. Jimmy Garvin breaks it up. Hayes is bloodied and battered, but able to tag Jimmy Jam Garvin. Garvin taking over on the Hawk. Garvin holding his own against Hawk. Quick tags by the Freebirds. Keeping Hawk, cutting off the ring, as I've been saying since the beginning of this. That's what you need to do against the Road Warriors, especially if you're Garvin and Hayes with no Gordy and Buddy Roberts. And if you guys watched my live-to-tape watch-along the morning after with AEW Dynamite coverage last night here on the channel, or yesterday morning, you guys will see that I paid a tribute and homage to the Freebirds with my Bad Street USA garb and merch. Now here's the double tags. Road Warrior Animals in, putting a boot, stomping a mud hole in Jimmy Garvin in the corner. And now Hayes is in. Now all four men are in. It's breaking down here. It's a Pier 6 brawl. It's a slobber knocker, whatever term you want to use. Saturday night on the boardwalk. Or Saturday night on the docks, did Lance Russell say, or Gordon Soley. Hayes is trying to... No, I thought he was trying to climb out. No, Garvin's got Animal. And Hayes off the top rope misses Animal and catches Jimmy Garvin. And then Hawk with a right to Garvin. Here's the cover. Here's the pin by Animal. And he pins Jimmy Garvin. And it's over that quick. Animal pins Garvin. The Road Warriors over the Freebirds. And it's still breaking down because now they're going into the cage. And the Road Warriors are just beating the snot out of the Freebirds. Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Bad Street in the whole USA. Bad Street, nasty and hot. The further down the street, the worse it got. Not tonight. Not that night in April 1986 at Wrestle Rock 86. The Road Warriors over Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. The fabulous Freebirds, but not in my opinion. This is just me giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not my opinion. The original Freebirds are Hayes and Gordy. And then you brought in Buddy Jack. And then Jimmy was at the end. Okay? That's just my opinion. The Freebirds are the Freebirds. There's four, but there's only really two. Love the Freebirds. One of my... Now, look, the Freebirds are in the ring after getting their asses beat. Trying to raise their hands. This was one heck of a card. A long card.
7 minutes, 18 seconds. Your winners, the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors.
And under 8 minutes in a steel cage match. And again, this was 3.5 hours. They were at the end of the night. This was the 16th match. That's why it went this. I would have loved to have seen this go something like, say, 20 minutes or something like that. And Terry Bam Bam Gordy. But this was a classic. This was certainly a classic card. Again, I'll give you the quick rundown before I hop out of here at Chaos Corner, because the first segment was damn near 50 minutes, almost an hour. And I didn't even cover this Freebirds and Road Warriors match because I wanted it to have its own segment, because I believe those two tag teams are worth it. But Wrestle Rock 86 and the AWA, as I said, let me see if I can get the different matches on here and the updates and see what we can come up with here. This was 37 years ago, guys. Again, that shows you my age and what we're talking about. Here we are in 2023. This was April of 86. It outdrew both Jim Crockett Promotions Crockett Cups combined. Let that sink in for back in the day when you talked about the three big companies, the WWF, NWA, and the AWA back then. They were a force to be reckoned with. So I already said Gary Michael Capetta was the announcer, a guy who I was inducted into New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame with, along with Bill Apter and many other stars. Unbelievable. Brad Rangans went over on Boris Zukov. Colonel De Beers by disqualification over Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Buddy Rose, Playboy Buddy Rose, and Pretty Boy Doug Summers over the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. The Giant Baba over Bulldog Brown. The tag team of Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda over the Fabulous One, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. Harley Race and Rick Martel battled to a double disqualification. In a 10-women battle royal, it was sensational Sherry Martel as your winner over, I believe the final lady left was Luna Vachon. Sergeant Slaughter went over on Kamala, who was with Skandor Akbar. Slaughter was the AWA America's champion at that time. For the AWA tag team titles, Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig went over on the Irwin brothers, the Long Riders. Scott Ledoux, the former heavyweight fighter, that's right, the boxer, won, I believe it was by disqualification, over Larry Zbyszko with a special guest referee, Larry, the legend, Larry the Axe Hennig, in a boxing match. So you see the history of the boxing matches in pro wrestling, whether it was Chuck Wepner and Andre the Giant, Muhammad Ali and Gorilla Monsoon, that issue, then Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki. There's been others, and you look back here at Scott Ledoux, Larry Zbyszko. And then I did cover this, and I did a live-to-tape watch-along. Go back and check it out on part one. The AWA heavyweight champion at the time, the madman from Borger, Texas, Stan the Lariat Hansen. And I screwed up on that one. I thought Bockwinkel was still the champion, but Stan Hansen and Nick Bockwinkel. I did a live-to-tape watch-along just now. It was unbelievable. And winner by disqualification was Bockwinkel. But remember, Hansen threw him over the top rope. Back in the day, the rules were you go over the top rope, throw someone over the top rope, it's an automatic disqualification. We don't see a lot of that here in 2023. So that was an incredible bout with two incredible legends. Nick Bockwinkel, perhaps one of the most underrated world champions, especially back in the day of all time. And then we had the steel cage match, which I forgot about because I thought it was Vern Gagne, the crazy old coot, and Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi in a steel cage. But it wasn't. It was Bruiser Brody, King Kong Brody, and Nord the Barbarian against Greg Gagne and the Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And then the winner, Gagne, got 5 minutes or turned into a match with Adnan Al-Kaisi. A lot of guys were bloodied and busted open. Brody was a mess. Greg Gagne was a bloody mess. Adnan Al-Kaisi was a bloody mess. Gagne and Snuka ended up going over on Brody and Nord the Barbarian. I find it hard to believe. But again, 86, what a time. No better time for professional wrestling, which led into what we just did. And I didn't realize it was less than 8 minutes. The Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, perhaps the best tag team. I'm going to say it right now. The best tag team in pro wrestling history. Over the Freebirds of Garvin and Michael Hayes, but not the originals of, I'm repeating, Bam Bam and Pretty Boy, or Purely Sexy Michael Hayes. Guys, thanks for being here. I'm not going anywhere yet. We're coming up on 15 minutes. This is part 2. Go back, like, subscribe, get us in the algorithm. Thanks for being here in the lounge on Chaos Corner. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. I'm going to get banged and amped up with the espresso. Guys, again, I'm going to say that to say this because I tell it like it is. I can't thank you enough for being here for the retro review. Go back and watch this out on YouTube or go to the Peacock, and you can check it out on the channel of the classics of the AWA Wrestle Rock 86. Thanks for being here. Come on back. I'm always putting out content. Enjoy the summer. Stay awake.